Good morning everyone. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you present in today's GK class. First and the foremost thing, I would like to share some of the informations with you, and thereby I'll be going ahead with our revision part. And basically today what we are going to do is, today we will be planning, or today we will be basically discussing some of the current affairs as well as what you have to do, how you have to prepare for your half yearly exams. Okay, now see, the very first thing, that is day before yesterday on Wednesday, if you would have read the newspaper, so the maximum number of cases were recorded in our country, that is what, around 1 lakh or over to that, that is usse bhi zyada. So since all of us we know this thing, that is the highest number of cases have been recorded here, so it is my humble request from each and every one of you, most of the time has been passed, still a few more are left. So I request each and every one of you to take all the necessary precautions, take utmost care, so that you as well as your family remains on a safer side. Okay, and we do not get into any kind of trouble which is not only going to hamper our daily life activities, but it is also going to put into trouble us as well as our family members. Okay, so now the first and the foremost thing is, let me tell you here, that is this is my point of view. I'm not sure whether you completely agree with me or not. As I have been continuously mentioning you, that is the recovery rate, that is the people, those who are going to the hospitals just because of this COVID-19, and they are returning back to home safely by defeating it or by just recovering themselves. So possibly only two reasons can be there for that. Okay, one of the reasons can be because our immunity power has increased, or the second it can be, that is most probably the COVID-19 virus which is there, that has become weak. या तो ये virus weak हो गया, या तो हमारा immunity power काफ़ी अच्छा हो गया. But still, since the recovery rate is 77 to 78% and 22% is still left behind, so why to take the chance, or why to get into any kind of trouble? Because you know that whatever the vaccines which were there on the trial basis, they have also been on a pause. Okay, if you remember, today I'll be discussing over this as well in our current affairs, because if you remember, or if you would have read the newspaper, so you would have come to know that one of the vaccines which was into the final phase of the trial, or vaccine into trial phase. Okay, so that has been stopped because one of the patient or the participants has fallen ill just because of that vaccine. So since one of the participants has fallen ill, so the chances cannot be taken, and that is why that vaccine has been stopped or paused for the time being. Is that clear? And what I remember is that this vaccine was developed from the Oxford University. Okay, so this was the entire concept. Okay, please do not get into any kind of trouble. Okay, so this was the first thing related to COVID-19. Moving ahead with this, we have yesterday or day before yesterday only I came to know that we are planning, or we are going to have our half yearly exams. So since we are going to have our half yearly exams, so there is no point of view, or there is no use of continuing our annual syllabus, because you are also going to get confused with this. Okay, so in order to be on a safer side, in order to avoid any kind of trouble, what we are going to do is, first and the foremost thing, we will not continue with our annual syllabus. Whatever portions which we have completed till now, we will keep on revising that only, so that you do not get into trouble and you do not face any kind of problems at the time of your examination. Is that clear? The second most important thing, that is, if you know, that is whatever may be the marks of the paper, that is whether it is 30 marks, 40 marks, 50, whatever it is. Okay, you know this thing very well, that the current affair portion is of very less marks, that is max to max 2 marks, 3 marks, or even 5 marks as well. Okay, that is the maximum limit of the current affairs. Okay, so since apart from this 5 marks, rest of the 95% of your marks or 95% marks is there in your hand. Okay, because that is going to be asked completely from your book only. So in order to be on a safer side, please do not get into any kind of trouble, and at the same time please go ahead with your bookish part, start preparing it, because already we have completed our half yearly syllabus. So since we have already completed our half yearly syllabus, so if you will start memorizing, or if you will start learning the answers from now, you will see that at the time of your examinations you will not face any kind of problems, because you have already prepared it. So at that time you just have to go through it once again, revise it once again, so that you will be able to give your exams in a much more better way, as well as you'll be able to secure a very good marks. Is that clear? Okay, so first I'll be showing you some of the glimpses of the syllabus. I'll be explaining you what has been done, what are to be done, what are the things which are going to come in the exam, and thereafter we will be going ahead with the current affairs part. Okay, so let me show you that screen sharing and this. Okay, what you can find is that this is your 7th class syllabus. Okay, if you can see the name of the book. Okay, when the name of the book has come, let me first remind you this thing. Okay, generally I came to know this part, that is the answers. If you remember, there is a page in our GK book that is famous first, that is who are all the first personalities to do this, do that, whatever it is. Okay, that page number has a few questions which are, whose answers which are given, they do not tally with the answers which are present on the internet. Okay, so either two reasons can be there. Maybe the answers have not been updated in our book, or they are wrong. Okay, so in order to be on a safer side, just if you remember, I am only taking I would like to inform you this thing, that is, since I am only taking GK in all the 3 classes, that is your 6th, 7th and 8th, so I came to know this part, that is the books which you all have purchased, it has something written here Indianica, where it is written Britannica, there it is written Indianica. Okay, in your books or in the new books which have been purchased by the students of class 6th. So I request you as well to please see some of the heading, whether it is Indianica written or it is Britannica written. Is that clear? Okay, and most probably I'll be sharing you the image also of that. So in that Indianica, the answers which has been given at the back, either they have been wrongly printed, that is either the answers are wrong or they have been misprinted. Okay, only these two reasons can be there. Is that clear? So please, to be on a safer side, okay, whatever the options has been given by us, if you remember, we are providing you the PDF with the answers given. Okay, so please try to follow that only, because if you remember, while making the question papers, okay, since it is your multiple choice question, and if the correct option will not be there in that 4 or 3 options, so you will not be able to choose the correct one. Okay, so that is why while preparing this type of questions, that is your multiple choice questions, we are continuously matching with the internet, Google and everywhere, so that you do not get into trouble, you do not lose your marks, and at the same time you are able to get the correct answers. Okay, so starting with this, let me first share you something regarding the syllabus, and thereafter we will be going ahead. in this part, what are we going to see is that is here also Britannica is written. Okay, in your syllabus also Indianica is not written. Okay, starting with this, what are you able to see? That is, these are the half yearly page numbers, starting from page number 7 up to the last, that is your page number 40. Okay, out of these, some of the pages has been divided into your periodic test 1, that is these page numbers starting from 7 and the last up to 37. Okay, with few exceptions in between, or sorry, with very few specific page numbers are being there in this periodic test 1. But if you will see here, you will be able to find out that these page numbers are common to your half yearly portion. That is, if you can see brain workout 20 to 37, this is there in periodic test 1, but this is the same, it is there in periodic half yearly as well. Okay, this is your half yearly part. So what is this? All these page numbers, they have been taken from there only. If you take the very first one, our environment, 7, 12, 18, 23, 30, 7, 12, 18, that is 3 pages has been taken in the periodic test 1, and 2 pages 23 and 30 are left for your half yearly portion. Okay, now so what we have done is we have completed this entire part. Our entire half yearly has been completed, and since our half yearly have been completed, it means our periodic has also been completed, because these are the same page numbers which have been taken from here. Okay, and apart from that, we have also started with some of the page numbers of this one as well. Okay, if you remember, we have started some of the pages from the annual portion also. But since now when we have come to know, that is our exams are approaching, that is we are going to have our half yearly exams, so there is no point of view, or there is no point of continuing with our annual portion. So that is why I am not going to continue today with the annual portion. I'll be just sticking to this part only, that is half yearly portions only. Is that clear to everyone? Let me move ahead with one more thing I would like to share here, that is what to show here is this part. If you remember this PDF, okay, this is the PDF which has been shared by me just around when your exams were there, that is just in the beginning of your, before your UT test 2 was there. I have shared you this PDF, and this PDF is the sum total of all the pages which are going to come in your half yearly UT2 syllabus. But apart from this periodic test 1, that is PT2 which you have given, some pages are also included of half yearly as well, because if you remember, we have completed some of the pages of half yearly, and that is why I have given that pages in the exams as well. Okay, so since this was the reason, so now I request you, or now what I am going to do is, that is first and the foremost thing, either by Saturday or in the next class, okay, I'll be sharing you the PDF of the remaining pages or of the entire half yearly portion. ठीक है, या तो बचे हुए जो पेजेस हैं मैं उनका एक और PDF बना के आपको शेयर कर दूंगा, or I'll be sharing you the PDF of the entire half yearly portions, so that you can match your answers and at the same time you do not get into any kind of trouble. One more thing, may be possible I'll be sharing you the PDF of the answer sheets as well, because we have 2 to 3 or maximum 4 to 5 pages are there of the answer sheets. So I'll be sharing you that as well, so that you can match your answers and see whether they are tallying with it, or you have some other answers and I have some other. Okay, so please do take care of this part, and let us go ahead with our UT2, this PDF which have been shown by me. I'll be just showing you this part. I'm not going to read it out because already we have read all these things. If you can see, this was your animal mix-up, the very first page of your book. answers have been marked here or written. Okay, if written is not there, so the numbers have been put here. If you are not clear enough with any one of them, please do specify me, so that I can provide you with that page number with some another image. Rest of them, I hope you are able to find it out clearly, and at the same time you are able to find it out. The writing is not very good, but I don't think it is very bad enough for you to understand it. Okay, so if we move ahead with this, that is, this was your hybrid animals. You must have got some of the questions related to this, and at the same time, if you remember the presidents of India, this also we have done. That is, we have done all the pages, but try to match your answers. Green records, puzzles are not filled, but the answers have been written here. You can fill it by your own. Okay, basically you would have found some of the questions related to this number 5, that is utricle, the smallest, world's smallest fruit, as well as the world's smallest flower. Okay, so this was there, and at the same time we have also done about these great thinkers. I have not marked it in this puzzle, but I have written the answers in front of them, so that I will be able to prepare it nicely in a much more better way, or you will be able to prepare it nicely in a much more better way. Moving ahead with this, we have mighty mountains. When we are talking about the mighty mountains, so here also we have given, or I have given some of the questions which you all would have encountered in your UT2 set A as well as set B, and the answers are written as well as some of them are marked at the bottom as well. Okay, wherever you find it confusing, please be free to mention it in the query window, so that I'll be able to help you out there and then. When the term query window has come, so I would like to inform you one more thing. Okay, most of you used to give me the messages on my personal window regarding the UT2 syllabus or anything. अब आपका कल एग्ज़ाम है, आज आप मुझे रात में कहेंगे कि UT2 का सिलेबस दे दीजिए सर, या क्या है, कौन कौन से पेजेस आएंगे. सो इट इज़ वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट फॉर मी टू प्रोवाइड यू दैट. ओके, सो इट इज़ माई हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट टू बी ऑन अ सेफर साइड. आपकी जो भी प्रिपरेशन है आप उसको कुछ दिन के पहले ही कर लीजिए. आपको जो भी सिलेबस जो चाहिए आप क्वेरी विंडो में मेंशन कर दीजिए. ओके, एंड इन्फॉर्म मी एज वेल, so that I'll be able to help you in a much more better way. Okay, because just like if I am having the class with you today, that is 7th class, so basically I will be preferring to 7th classes only for that query session as well. But if some other student 6th or 8th is going to ask me something, so it is very difficult for me to answer them. Is that clear? So on the same day, whatever your queries are there, instead of messaging me personally, please share it in the query window, so that you also do not get into any kind of trouble, and I also do not get into any kind of trouble, because clear cut instructions are there that we don't have to take any kind of personal chats or personal messages, and we don't have to reply to them as well. Okay, let us move ahead with this. So these are the pages which we have already done. Please see the answers. I hope you would have remembered this one. You must have gone this one in your exam, Amarnath Shrine. Natural disasters, this also included Karakota, okay, Krakatoa, okay, a volcano near Indonesia. This was the question taken from the fact file. So the questions can be asked from anywhere. Okay, we cannot say this thing, that is, it will be asked only from the bookish part. Okay, next, famous forts. Here also Golconda and William, Chittorgarh, Red Fort. I gave you some of the questions with this as well. Records of India. Now in this part only, this was the page which I was talking about, class. This is the page which is having a lot of problems here. Okay, that is, most of the answers here which are given, they are not matching up to with the internet. Please go through it, and if possible, please do me a favor, please make a record of all the answers or questions which are not matching, or just you can make 3 columns there. Okay, you just have to make 3 columns: question, answer in the book, answer on the internet. That's it. Okay, if you can do it, I'll be highly obliged. If not, I am trying my level best. Okay, if you can do it, please do it and forward it on my personal window. Okay, only this part. Okay, or you can even forward it in the query window as well, and please do inform me. Okay, next is what we can see here. So that is why I gave you only the last one, that is first Indian to go into space or first Indian woman to climb Mount Everest, whose answer was matching with the internet. Okay, next we also did amazing architecture. I hope you would have found this one as well as this one in identify the given pictures, this one as well in set A or set B. Okay, next if you talk about famous cities of the world. Okay, so from here also you have got a lot of questions. I hope you got the questions from this Hagia Sophia as well. Okay, and this was the last page number, that is page number 40. This is one of the page numbers of half yearly. So since we have completed, that is why I gave you in the unit test 2. Okay, moving ahead with this part, now I am going to share some of the current affairs with you. Now see, since now I am going to share you the current affairs, and the current affairs are somewhat like a kind of a quiz there. Okay, so since they are a kind of a quiz, so I request you to take a blank paper, a pen, pencil, or a rough copy with a pen or a pencil, and please note down the options. Okay, you guess the options from your side, and at the last when we will be discussing the answers, please try to see whether your guesses are correct or not. Okay, so please have a look over here and just see here. This is the current affair of 9/9/2020, that is 9th of September 2020. The very first question. Please be ready with a paper, rough copy, a pen or a pencil, and keep on guessing the answers. Okay, let us see here. Who amongst the following world leaders has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize 2021? We have 4 options here: Narendra Modi, Shinzo Abe, Xi Jinping, Donald Trump. Okay, any one option is there, whichever one you feel like, please write it down, just the option, whether it is A, B, C or D. Just write it down one and in front of it A, B, C or D, whichever one you feel like. Next is the last stage of trials of which COVID-19 vaccine have been paused after a participant fell ill. This was the thing which I was talking about, if you remember just now, because I told you that all the clinical trials, they have been paused because one of the patient has fallen ill. Okay, so the 4 options are your Moderna, AstraZeneca, BioNTech, Sputnik V. Okay, next is when will PM Narendra Modi launch Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana? If you remember in this question class, this single word is the keyword Matsya. If you remember, Matsya in Hindi or in Sanskrit means machli, that is your fish. Okay, so this yojana or this scheme is basically related to fisheries or animal husbandry. So when it is going to be launched by our honorable Prime Minister, that is day before yesterday, that is 10th, or yesterday or today or tomorrow. Okay, moving ahead with the next question, we have Northrop Grumman has named its next Cygnus aircraft after which Indian descent astronaut? Okay, that is, we have the options here: Rakesh Sharma, Kalpana Chawla, Sunita Williams and Ronald McNair. Okay, next one we have which private tech investor bought a 1.75% stake in Reliance Retail? That is your General Atlantic, Vista Equity Partners, Silver Lake or KKR. I hope KKR is nothing but your Kolkata Knight Riders. Maybe, I'm not sure. Regarding with this, I'm going to share you one detail here. That is, if you remember just few months back, that is last to last month or in the last month, there was some kind of news related to this Reliance Industries only. That is, since the profit was not very much, or they were needing they needed a lot of finance, they needed money, So what they have done is that they have sold, or they have sold 1.75% of their share or stake to one of the companies. So which company was there? In order to generate some rupees, and it was around 7,500 crores of rupees. They have got it just by selling 1.75% of their stake. Okay, let us go into some more. Okay, India has signed a 500 million US dollar loan agreement with which international financial institution for Delhi Meerut Regional Rapid Transit System Corridor. That is your ADB, AIIB, EBRD and your WB. I hope this would be your first one, because ADB is the full form for Asian Development Bank. That is the bank which provides us the loan or the money for all the development processes which are going to take place in the Asian countries. Okay, moving ahead with the next one. Who was conferred with Indira Gandhi Peace Prize 2019? We have the four options here: Robert E. Kohler, Peter J. Bowler, David Attenborough, Flores Cohen. Okay, next we have EAM S. Jaishankar made a stopper in which nation en route to Russia? Turkey, Israel, Iran and Japan. So please mark your options. Only 8 questions are there. I hope you would have marked the options. So now we can go ahead with the answers. So the very first one, that is Donald Trump has been nominated for the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize because of his efforts on brokering the historic Israel UAE peace deal. Okay, because the thing is that there were some kind of conflicts going between these two countries, that is your Israel and your United Arab Emirates, which was solved, or the issue was solved, when Donald Trump came in between these two and acted like a mediator and solved the issues and signed the peace deal. Okay, next, the vaccine which we are talking about, that was your AstraZeneca, which was in the last phase of clinical trials of COVID-19 vaccine developed by Oxford University, and AstraZeneca has been put on hold after one of the participants fell ill in United Kingdom. Okay, this AstraZeneca, it is described the pause as a routine pause in the case of an unexplained illness. Okay, moving ahead with the third, that is Prime Minister Narendra Modi has digitally launched this Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana and eGopala app on September 10th 2020, that is day before yesterday. This eGopala app is launched for the farmers along with several other initiatives in the fisheries and animal husbandry sector in Bihar. When the term farmers has come, I would like to tell you one more thing here, that is, if you would have read the newspaper, so you would have got the news that recently 1 or 2 trains have been started for carrying the agricultural goods produced by the farmers, okay, on the lands, for transporting it either within India or outside India in a much lesser cost, so that farmers are also benefited properly. And at the same time, if you would have read day before yesterday's newspaper, that is on Thursday, so even one of the aeroplanes has also been started for the transporting agricultural goods from one country to another, basically the fresh fruits and vegetables. Okay, so this is basically the growth of the agricultural sector, as well as a boon and the growth of the farmers as well. Okay, moving ahead with this, the correct option is Kalpana Chawla. Northrop Grumman has named its next space station resupply ship after Dr. Kalpana Chawla, astronaut of Indian descent. Okay, the SS Kalpana Chawla spacecraft will be Northrop Grumman's next Cygnus spacecraft to launch to the International Space Station. It has been named in the honor of the astronaut who was one of the 7 crew members who died in Columbia Space Shuttle disaster. You just put on the Google this part, that is Columbia Space Shuttle disaster, and you will come to know about the incident which is taking place. Okay. Next we have the Silver Lake, that is Reliance Retail has raised rupees 7,500 crores just by selling 1.75% stake to American private equity player Silver Lake. Okay, the investment was announced by Mukesh Ambani led Reliance Retail Ventures Limited. Okay, next we have the Asian Development Bank, I told you, and the Indian Government Bank. Delhi merit for initially $1 billion has been approved or sanctioned for this modern 82-kilometer Delhi merit RRTS corridor, which will improve the regional connectivity and mobility in India's national capital region. That is, we are talking about the NCRs, that is the regions which are very much close to Delhi. Next one, David Attenborough, a renowned author and a natural historian, was conferred with Indira Gandhi Peace Prize 2019 by Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust. Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh presented the Peace Prize in a virtual ceremony. Okay. Next is your Iran. The Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar had made a stopover at Tehran, Iran, as a part of his Russia visit on September 8, 2020, and met his Iranian counterpart Javad Zarif. Okay, so this was all for the current affairs. I hope you would have got the session clearly. Now I request each and everyone to start preparing thoroughly, either 1 pages or 2 pages per day, so that you do not get into any kind of trouble, and at the same time please take all the necessary precautions so that you be on a safer side. So that's all for today. Thanks for being with me. Have a superb day ahead. Thank you.